Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. Thank you for joining us today. I have from Oklahoma, Kim and Christian Mayberry, and he is a walking, talking miracle. I'd like to welcome them to Morning Moments. Welcome.
Thank you. We appreciate being
Yes,
here.
sir. Thank you so much.
We're
We
excited.
appreciate it.
I've seen a lot of your videos. Your testimony has been well documented, and even movies being made about it. And but I do appreciate you coming so I could ask you the question I ask everybody. What do you do and why do you do it?
What do you do, Christian?
Well, I will tell you what I do. And I'm actually a motivational speaker slash evangelist. And I love it so much. Being able to encourage people, help lift them up from maybe something sad that has happened in their lives.
And what happened to you?
9 years ago, I was with some boys. We all played football together, so I just want to hang out with the guys. I didn't do anything wrong, but they weren't my true friends. They're just acquaintances. And one of the boys' mother was driving. She was extremely drunk,
Yeah.
and she was very high as well. And so I always tell people they don't combine well at all. One thing I want people to visualize, think about. So where we were down by the river, there's rocks, trees, boulders everywhere. The more possible chances of getting hurt. She crashed it and I flew off the altar and slammed into the ground. Had severe brain trauma, TBI, traumatic brain injury. Horrible. People are like, "What? Seriously, that happened to you, and you're alive right now?" It's like, yes. And I will tell you, we have a faithful, loving, caring God. His name is Jesus, our King, Lord, Savior, first, last, beginning, and end. So it's also so breathtaking to think about as well. I've got blood and everything pouring out of me. Horrible, scary, and the people who had, and the boys, they left me there for 3 hours. They didn't call the police. They didn't even call anyone. But besides the sadness and the evilness, I want to tell you the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me, ever. That night I died. My spirit left the face of this earth. It was so amazing because and guess what else? I flew to heaven, and the movie Heaven is for real. It is for real. I met the face of God, Jesus, our Yeshua, El Shaddai, Jehovah, first, last, beginning, and end. He's just so extremely gorgeous. And I met family members, my both papas, mom's dad, dad's dad, and met my little sister Vanessa. It's just everything's so perfect. He he looked at me so perfect, so beautiful, so sweet, so nice, so kind. He smiled at me and said, "Christian." So as I tell people this, he kind of said welcome home, but he didn't say welcome home. He didn't say it's not your time yet either to be here. He gave me the choice, the option, if I wanted to stay or if I wanted to come out to Earth, live life, one day have a wife and kids. And say, yes, I would love that right there, Lord. If you know what I mean. Smiley face. And but he also said this is so gorgeous as well. He also said, I'm gonna have a platform. I'm gonna help him bring thousands of people to Christ.
So that's
And,
kind of what
and,
you're
and,
doing now,
and
right?
that's what I'm doing now. Now I am a motivational speaker slash evangelist, and I love doing what I do because just be able to help encourage people or help lift people up off from the ground, or the pain everybody goes through every day. People are hurting, people are sad, and they don't know who to turn to or who to ask for help. And I just want them to know that you are not alone. We have a God, and his name is Jesus, and he loves me, you, anyone watching or listening to this video. He loves you, and he wants you to know that you are not alone.
And is it okay if I kind of let the people know how severe he was? He was when they got him to the hospital, they didn't even really think there was reason to life flight him to the bigger hospital. They didn't think he was going to make it, and um, I was out of the country. That's a whole nother story. Won't go into that. But my husband was here, and but within about 6 days, I mean, he was still with us, but they couldn't control the swelling, so they did surgery. They said if we don't do it, like immediately, we're gonna lose him. They couldn't control the swelling, so they took out two pieces of skull on each side, the size of a grapefruit, and but it was just always touch and go, and they were, preparing us that we might lose him, and of course, we always said, we're not going to lose him. And then when they started realizing that, okay, I guess he's going to survive the accident, but then they started telling us, but be prepared. He will probably never walk or talk again. He will, live with you the rest of your days. And, but again, we would say, but God, and we want you to remember the name Christian Mayberry, because we're going to get our boy back. And the first time the surgeon saw Christian, because the surgeon does the surgery, and then we were in the hospital for a long time, but he didn't see him again for years. Once we left the hospital, we were actually gone for 2 years, going around the country doing different rehabs and things, and that's a whole nother. It was a horrible story there, because our Medicaid wouldn't pay for anywhere but Oklahoma. But anyway, when we finally saw the surgeon, we went back to see him about putting the bone plates back in. And we're sitting in his office waiting for him to come in. And he walks in, and Christian, who is 6'7", stands up. Yeah, I'll let you tell that part. And the surgeon just literally.
And so actually, he started laughing almost hysterically from almost unbelief.
Yeah, he couldn't believe what he was seeing.
He turned to his right hand woman, or
his assistant.
Thank you. That's what I'm for. And started laughing kind of hysterically, like, do you believe you're seeing this right now?
Yeah, he said we never thought we would see, because Christian just stood up and walked over to him and gave him this big old bear hug. And he did. He just started laughing and just shaking his head. And he said, I never thought I'd see this day. So he is a walking, talking miracle. And in the beginning, we had people that started this mantra, wake up, Christian, wake up. And we had thousands of people all over Facebook and friends and family saying, wake up, Christian, wake up. Every time they think of him, we'd ask them to please say the words out loud, wake up, Christian, wake up. And then he woke up. And then he wasn't saying a word. He was just there. So people started saying, speak, Christian, speak. And it took about 6 months before he said his first word. Then it was walk, Christian, walk, because he couldn't walk. And it was well over a year before he could start learning to walk. We had the absolute best of the best specialists saying that his vision, that contacts wouldn't help, glasses wouldn't help, that he basically was never going to see hardly at all. Well,
guess what? I'm in contacts. My then later time went by, and my newer eye doctor, Dr. Vaughn, she said, actually contacted me and actually helped heal my brain and so much more.
He's got excellent vision.
Yes.
We're still believing that his left eye is going to straighten because
Yeah.
it's a little out to the left, but we're believing for that, aren't we?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just been one miracle after the next, and we couldn't have done it obviously without the Lord, and just knowing that we had to stand, we had to
Mhm.
believe. We also knew, I mean, I knew before he was even awake that I had to forgive this woman because I was begging God for a healing. I was begging God to not let him die, to give me my
Yeah.
boy back on one hand. But on the other hand, I knew I couldn't hate her. I couldn't want her demise. I couldn't not forgive her. So had to forgive and had to do it immediately. And I did. And I'm not going to say it was easy. And there were times that, you'd want to take back that forgiveness, but
Yeah.
knew that this wasn't going to work that way. So,
Mhm.
and same with him. It's been extremely hard. Life has been so challenging in so
Yes,
many ways,
yes.
but we both knew we had to forgive. The best way to get a hold of us is through Facebook. Our page is called Pray For, and it's the word for Mayberry.
Kim has asked for specific prayer for his eye. So I want people to be very clear and say, God, continue to touch him and heal that eye. Because God, when we pray, we need to be very specific and not just general. And so this is good to know that these are some of the needs to pray for. As I always ask for my guest, I ask my audience to pray for them. And so today, as we get ready to close this interview, I want you to keep Kim and Christian in prayer. They need your prayer, and you need the practice, folks. So pray that God would just bless them and continue the healing process and strength, because there are some days that maybe both of them may not feel like standing in front of people and giving their testimony, but they do it anyway. And they need prayer for on a day-to-day basis, so God would bless them, because God's not done with them yet, is he? And God's got a plan for them. Any closing thoughts that you have, Christian, before we go?
Please, if you would please pray for my memory for sure. Yeah, I've got a little bit of short-term memory loss. It's not bad, but it's like it just wants to come and go.
Okay.
And one more thing, very, very important to me, is for Jesus to heal my left eye.
The Lord told me I was going to reach thousands, and he always says, Lord.
Why don't we just make it millions?
Yes.
Because we know that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.
Absolutely.
And I just love to make people happy. I love to make people smile. I love to tell everyone that Satan is a liar.
Thank you so much for taking the time and being with us today. And there's some of you that's watching this video, you're saying, I got to pass this on. Please pass this on. Share it on your sites and your Facebook page. Pass it on to people who need to hear it, because there's folks that are saying, well, God doesn't know me and he doesn't really know what I'm going through. If he cares for Kim, and he cares for Christian, he cares for me, he cares for you and what you're going through too. And so thank you so much for joining us today. And for those who are here, keep coming back if you would, for some more morning moments.